everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today I'm going to do a full face foundation tutorial to show you how to use thin layers of tinted products to get a full coverage, more youthful look. If I go for a full coverage makeup, I put it on and I always feel like I'm wearing a mask. I feel like it settles in my fine lines and wrinkles, and I just don't feel like it looks very good. I don't feel like you get that youthful kind of lit from within glow that I think everybody is after these days. Using lighter, thinner layers of tinted products helps to make more of a natural, more youthful look for the skin. So you can cover up everything you want to cover, but you don't have the caking and the settling in the fine lines and wrinkles. And all in all, it just looks better. And you know, I'm a kind of a natural girl, so I like everything to look natural all the time. So even if I am wearing like what I consider to be a lot of makeup and a full coverage look, I still want it to look natural. I still want it to give the impression that my skin is showing through and that my inner glow is coming out. All right, so I'm going to use a tinted sunscreen and then a thin foundation and then some tinted powder over the top of that. And so those are the three products that combined will give this look. All right, so let's get started with the tutorial. The first product I'm going to use is MAC Select MoistureCover Concealer, and this is in NW20. All right, so I just take a little of this. I never apply it directly to my face because that is kind of a big globby applicator. So I just put a little dab on the back of my hand, and then I have this tiny, tiny brush that I use. It's like a eyeliner brush. Oh my gosh, my bracelet's coming undone. I'm going to take that and just put it right in the kind of dark hollow where I need it, because this on me is naturally kind of light. And then I'm going to take this crown brush. It's a crown crease brush, but it's an oversized crease brush, so I like it for concealer. And just tap that in. And you can do this with your fingertips or with a brush. Either one will work just fine. Right, so I'm trying to stay just on sort of the dark side of that little bit of puffiness where, of course, I didn't get a good night's sleep last night. So I'm a little puffy and have a little bit of a eye bag this morning. But you know what? Who doesn't? I see these beautiful girls on TV who are like in their 20s and they have giant eye bags. So I don't feel too bad about mine. Of course, theirs are from having fun and partying all night. Mine's just from a snoring husband. All right. So that took care of that. All right, now if you have a little bit of darkness by the side of your nose, you can put a little bit there to kind of lighten that area up so it's not making quite such a big shadow. So put a little in there. Same thing, just dab it, or you can just press it with your fingertip. Right, so there. And I really like this concealer. It's very lightweight. It doesn't settle in my fine lines or wrinkles. Here I have a little pimple here, so I'm going to put a little concealer on there. And I'm probably going to have to re-conceal this at the end anyway. So, because after I get all the layers on, all the rubbing will tend to rub a little bit of this off, but it's fine. So then we'll go in and kind of redo it. Now I'm going to take the bigger brush with the rest to do this kind of bigger area over here, and I'm all red right here. Hopefully that's going to go away because I screwed up that eyeliner. I had to redo that. All right, so that's all the concealing that I'm going to do for today, so I can put those two away. Okay, so for the base layer / sunscreen, I'm going to use this MD SolarSciences Mineral Tinted Creme. This is a broad spectrum SPF 30 tinted sunscreen. This also contains some antioxidants. It's gluten-free and paraben-free, unscented, which is great. So I just take a little glob about the size of a pea, and since this is a sunscreen, we need to have a little bit of a thicker application of this. You have to make sure that you're really feeling this all over your face, and so that you get a nice coating of this everywhere. You want to do up under your eyes, of course the top of your nose, which is a big spot for skin cancers later in life. Make sure you especially get your left cheek all the way over, and if you can, blend it up and onto your ears, because when you're driving in your car, those UVA rays come right through the window, and people have a lot of age spots over here, I've noticed. All right, now I'm going to take just another little squirt and continue the sunscreen down my neck and to any exposed skin, including the backs of my hands. I actually have already put sunscreen on my hands and my forearms in SPF 50. This is only a 30, so this is kind of the minimum that I use. This is for a day when I'm mainly going to be inside, away from windows and direct sunlight. And if I am going outside, like to my kids' lacrosse game or something, I will either put on more sunscreen or I will put on a hat. All right, so I'm just going to let this set up for 15 minutes because in order for the sunscreen to be fully effective, it needs 15 minutes to dry and set before you add anything else over the top so it can form a nice bond with your skin. Now this is a physical sunscreen. This contains zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And as I probably mentioned already, it's a broad spectrum, so it blocks both UVA and UVB rays. All right, so that is like just a tinted thing. The tint is not, as you can see, I think it made me look a little bit whiter, but that's from the titanium dioxide. So hopefully in 15 minutes it will look more normal. But as you can see, the tint did our first layer of kind of general evening out the skin tone. So I'll be back in 15. The next step is to apply a sheer foundation. So the one I'm going to use today is Estee Lauder Invisible Fluid. This is in 2CN1 Pure Beige. Okay, so this, you shake it up before you use it. So I'm just going to give that a little shake. You can hear it's got some little beads in there to help it mix the foundation. So if you have this and you're not shaking it up every time you use it and you don't like it, that could be the problem. So again, with this and everything else, we're just going to take a little pea-sized amount. This is a thin, runny foundation, but it's highly pigmented, which is what I like about it. So you put it on and it doesn't leave you looking cakey at all. So, and then I'm just going to kind of dab this around with my fingertips, and then because, you know, sometimes you get that rubbing, balling thing if you rub it with your fingers too much. So I'm just going to use a stippling brush to smooth it around just to make sure I don't get that balling up. I don't think I will because these are two silicone-based products that I have on. I'm going to use this Real Technique stippling brush. I'm just going to take that and with a light touch blend this in. So this is really adding the color. You could see when I first came back that the tinted sunscreen almost leaves kind of a whitish, pale look to the skin, and that's from the titanium dioxide and the zinc oxide. But those are the things that are protecting your skin, so it's good to have them in there. But I like that MD Solar product because it is nice and matte. It's not shiny. A lot of the zinc oxides and titanium dioxides, they end up leaving a really shiny finish. And that one, after it sets up, is nice and matte. So that one even works well under just a powder. If you're my age and your vision is starting to go, you need to check each layer in your big 15x mirror before you move on to the next layer, just to make sure that you have it all blended and nice and smooth. So that's what I do. I go and I check it in my big mirror, and I find all kinds of things on my face, little brush hairs and, you know, little flecks of black dust. I don't know where it comes from. And, you know, I find that I have makeup in my eyebrow and on my lips, so because, you know, other people can see things that we can't. So now that that layer is on, you can see it's the kind of the lit from within glow is starting to come out. It's still a little pale compared to my neck. I did some self-tanning here that I'm going to do a review on that product, but I stopped at my face, so my face is a little whiter than the rest of me, as you can see, because this self-tanner really works nicely. But I'll put the link to that review down here. I think I'm going to post that first before this, so it should already be up, and maybe some of you have seen it already. I'm going to even this all up with bronzer in the end. All right, so then the next product that is going to be a powder that goes over the top of these two layers. And I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation, and this is in medium beige. So this is the brush that I got with it. It's a two-ended concealer and powder brush, and this is a fantastic brush with this. I've used other brushes with it, and it doesn't apply quite as nicely as it does with this brush. So if you were thinking of buying this, the better way to buy it is in the bundle for the first time. Here it is. As you can see, I love this. I've hit pan on it, and it's funny because it's got this lighter spot down there. But I'm going to use the concealer end first. I'm just going to go into a few places that need concealer or brightening up. Like right in here, I always feel like I need concealer, a little extra powder, kind of around my nostrils and the edge of my nose where I tend to be a little red. So then I'm going to take the big end and just swirl it in there lightly. You don't want to pick up too much, and shake it off a little bit. And then you just start making circular motions, go in both directions. Because if you go in both directions, that really helps it to fill in the pores, much more than just going in one direction. And of course, don't forget to go over your ears, down your neck. You want it to all kind of even out. All right, so now the third layer is on, and that has added that level of full coverageness that some people are really looking for. All right, and with the layering, you can also layer your other makeup too. So I'm going to layer my blush to get, again, more of that lit from within look. So the first blush I'm going to use is Maybelline Master Glaze Blush Stick, and this is in color number 10, Just Pinched Pink. You've probably seen these in the grocery store and at the drugstore. They're new, so I'm going to take that and I'm just going to swipe it right along the high point of my cheekbone, because this has some highlighter in it, so it'll make extra glowy effect there. And then I'm going to take that same stippling brush, because I have powder down there. I don't want to start rubbing this with my fingers because it'll start to disturb the powder, but I find the brushes work much better for not disturbing everything. And I'm just going to spread that around, and I'm actually going to do it wider than I will go with my regular blush. So this is just going to be more of a overall glow, kind of all over the cheek and up high on the cheekbone to add that little bit of highlight. And where this is a layered blush look, I'm not looking for this blush to be my blush. So it should be very subtle once it's on there. Then we're going to do a little contouring with some bronzer, and also to even me up so I come out looking closer to the color that I self-tanned to. And for this, I'm going to use IT Cosmetics CC Plus Radiance Ombre Bronzer. And this is in the color Warm Radiance. Okay, this is a beautiful bronzer. As you can see, it's got that ombre look here, so it's lighter at the top, darker at the bottom. So where I want to do a little bit of contouring on my cheeks, I'm going to take some from the bottom kind of darker area. And isn't this brush fantastic? This is the brush that IT Cosmetics sent me this, and this brush along with it to go with it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of bronzer right under here, under my cheekbone, kind of accentuate and give me more of a lifted cheekbone there. And then again with the darker, I like to do under my chin here to deaccentuate any drooping skin that I may have going on there. And then I'm going to take some from the middle portion, and I'm just going to do a little bit up here around my hairline. Now I'm going to go in with the powder blush, and for this I'm going to use the NYX Blush in Peach. Now this doesn't look peach at all. It's quite a hot pink, but it's very sheer, so it goes on beautifully. And for that, I have my Crown Kabuki fan brush. This is another oversized brush, and I love this one. I just swirl that in there a bit, and then I start back here high on my cheekbone and kind of rub that back and forth in a straight line, coming about halfway forward. I'm stopping about here because this part of my cheek is riddled with problems now that I'm 51, so I don't like to bring my blush all the way up there, so I keep it back kind of far back. Then I turn the brush sideways to get more of a roundness and blend it into the bronzer. So we'll do that again on the other side. All right, so this seems to be coming together. Just a couple more steps and we'll be done. Now I do find that right underneath my eyes is a little shiny most of the time, so I do like to powder that down with just a little bit of setting powder. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores HD powder, and this is a Real Techniques brush that I'm going to use with it. And I just take that, what I do is, I've left most of the tape covering most of the holes, and then I just sprinkle a little bit of it out into the lid. Okay? And even that much I have is way too much, so I'm just going to use this part up here. Then I just tap the brush in and tap it off really good because you don't want too much. Then you're just going to pat that under your eyes. That's going to set the concealer and keep any shine from that area. Because really, our under eye area is usually, at this age, not the best. And so you don't want it to be shining because any shine draws attention to all the flaws. So sad but true. So I just do a little bit right in here and down the center of my nose. And that's it. Now just a lipstick and a little setting spray, and I think we'll be good to go. I'm going to set the whole thing with some setting spray, and that's going to help to restore that nice dewy look to it. So I prefer the e.l.f. setting spray because this is an alcohol-free formula. It also contains cucumber, aloe, vitamins A, C, and E. It also contains green tea. It's a terrific formula, especially for something that costs $3 at Target. So you just basically take this and give yourself a light spritz. That is kind of the nicest part of my morning. I just love to sit there and, you know, let it fall over my skin and wait for it to dry, do a little moment's meditation. And of course the last step to any look is the lip color. Today I'm going to use Tarte Lipsurgence in the shade Lovely, and this is a nice pretty berry pink. And we're done. Okay everybody, so that's the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. As always, thanks for your time and have a great day everybody. Take care.